tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react. Understand.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hello, Nigeria. It's another exciting episode of the Issues and Voice of the People television, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Nenna Ndomdioto. Today on the Issues, we're examining the complexities of Nigeria's politics and governance, from Supreme Court upholding President's power to declare emergency and suspend elected officials, to Atiku, Obi, and others decrying threat to multi-party democracy. Also, Lai Mohammed refutes allegations over Buhari's legacy. Join us as we break down the facts and provide context to help you stay informed. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll dig deeper to these topics. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. In a significant constitutional ruling, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has upheld the President's authority to declare a state of emergency in any part of the Federation to avert a breakdown of law and order or lead into chaos. In a split decision, a majority of justices agreed that under Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution, President may take extraordinary measures during an emergency, including the temporary suspension of elected officials, provided such action is for a limited period. The case arose from a legal challenge by several People's Democratic Party-controlled states over the federal government's emergency declaration in Rivers State earlier this year. The plaintiffs had argued that the suspension of elected officials exceeded constitutional limits, but the Apex Court dismissed that contention in the majority judgment. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio, we have Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Anosike is a philosopher, a development economist, and best-selling author. He's also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. He's also the author of the most talked about book titled Abuse of Power, How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Joining us virtually is Clem Aguiyi. He is a lawyer, political activist, and a social commentator. He'll get to join us during the show. Let's start with Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter, what do you make of this ruling today by the Supreme Court? Let's start with that.
For me, the ruling is simply academic because this suit was filed when the Rivers State state of emergency was on, and it was to persuade the president to vacate what he did that was unconstitutional. Understand? But they deliberately kept the hearing of the case and taking decision until the emergency has expired. That's why I keep on saying we don't have a justice system in the country. So the governors were elected the same way or the president was elected. Understand? The president is national, the governors are subnational. So if the president can remove heads of subnational, it also means that the president can also be removed under state of emergency. It also means that the president can also be removed under state of emergency because it is the same constitution that we all are following. So if the Supreme Court says that the president has power to remove a sitting governor, understand? It also means that the president can be removed under that same circumstance. So for me, I know that what we have at the appeal court, at the Supreme Court, is just judicial contractors. That is what we have there. And the truth is that the evil that we supported today, the evil that we condone today, understand, will one day turn to haunt us. If we feel that to haunt us, it can haunt our children or our children's children. So for me, it's a sad day for the Nigeria judiciary. It is a sad day for democracy because it is giving the president unmerited powers. So it means that with this so-called judgment, it means that the president can be removing governors at will. Understand? They can tell somebody, go and throw bomb in a state. Understand me? So, and with that, the president will remove the governor. So for me, as I said, it is a sad day for Nigerian democracy. It is a sad day for the judicial system in the country.
Okay, with this development, where does this leave the principle of separation of powers between the presidency, legislature, and states?
The only organ that is functioning in Nigeria is the executive. The National Assembly is not functioning and judiciary is not functioning. Both the National Assembly and the judiciary have become departments of the executive. Whatever the president wants in the National Assembly, he gets it. Whatever the president wants in the judiciary, he gets it. That's why I say what we are practicing today is not democracy but autocracy. Because since there's no checks and balances in the system, it's not democracy.
Okay. So, of course, we know that there's a possibility for everything that is obtainable to be abused. With this development, do you think that there should be safeguards, or some safeguards should exist to prevent future presidents or even our current president from using emergency rule as a political weapon? We saw what happened in Rivers State, and now a court is actually upholding. Won't this become a tool in the hands of president?
This is not just a court, it is Supreme Court. And once a Supreme Court gives a judgment, you are not appealing, you can only appeal to God. You can only appeal to God. So there's nothing anybody can do. The Supreme Court has given unwarranted power to the president. And what they are doing now, they are doing it because Tinubu that is in power. It cannot be in power that forever. Highest, if he succeeds in winning 2027, by 2031, which is 6 years away from now, he will be out of office. Understand me? And this, or the next person that comes in might use this to hunt these people that gave this judgment. Understand? So because nothing stays forever.
When you mean that they can use this to haunt this government, can you expatiate on that?
They can use it, that even that to hunt those people that made this decision. Because when Onenanga, that was the chief of army, was the chief justice of Nigeria. Before he was pushed away. Understand me? There were some things that he made that turned against him. Understand me? There were some judicial decisions that he made that later turned against him. So that's why whatever we are doing, we should be thinking of tomorrow. We shouldn't just be thinking of the person to satisfy or the person in power. We should be thinking of tomorrow. How will posterity remember us? What will people think of us? Just for me, I'm thinking poorly of Nigerian judges. I'm thinking very, very poorly of them. Understand? Because of the kind of nonsense judgments they are passing, right from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, even to the Supreme Court. Now, this suit was filed by PDP governors. They deliberately stored it until the 6 months state of emergency expired. Understand me? They deliberately put it aside until the 6 months state of emergency expired. Then they just come up with this stupid. So
you know this thing you said about the deliberate attempt or as in the deliberately left.
They deliberately
left
put
this
it
because I
aside.
remember even during Nnamdi Kano's there was one appeal or one Nnamdi Kano
Not just
made.
one, many of the appeals.
And then like you rightly mentioned, it was actually left for a while. And then until after his
judgment,
that's when the thing now came up again.
Academic.
So, but why? Let's even look at that. Why do you think this happens in our courts?
Because
today?
our judges don't have integrity.
Don't you think it might be that they have a lot in there?
Corrupt. It's not. It is not. It is corruption on our judicial system. It is corruption on our justice system. Understand? One, if or there's a case in court on a pending, while there's a judgment to be passed, what you should do is to make sure that that the judgment in the other case, which might affect the one that you are about to pass, is finished, is adjudicated before passing this one. But what they do, they'll pretend as if they did not see it because they already have a mindset. They already have a mindset. Your judgment must go this way. So that's what is happening. That's what Omotosho did, and that's also what this Supreme Court judges also did, and it is corruption on their part.
Okay, let's look at this emergency and this ability or this power to be able to suspend elected officers. What message does this send to voters? Because you cannot just come out and then after you've come out to vote, you've stayed under the sun. We know the rigorous process our voting is. And then after doing all of this, and then somebody tomorrow who all of a sudden just remove your president or remove your governor just because of anything that could come up. What message does this send to voters?
Well, it simply shows that the power doesn't belong to the people anymore. It simply shows that power does not belong to the people anymore, that you can elect somebody, then the president will throw him out. Understand? So that is the message, that we now have King Ahab as a pharaoh. That's as a president. Understand? We now have Almighty, a man who has power to do everything as a president. So that is the message it is sending. But what they don't know is that Tinubu will not be there forever. Highest 6 years he is out of office. He cannot spend a day longer than May 29th, 2031. Understand me? So, which means another person that will come into power will also start doing, because what they're going to do is making a monster out of our presidents. And this is not the way a country should go. This is not the way judges in America are still ruling against the American president. Understand me? Judges in America are still saying no, that the president gets it wrong, that this thing shouldn't stand. But here we have corrupt people in all the offices. Understand me? So all they are doing is just doing the bidding of the president. What does the president think of this of this case? From there, opinion will be formed.
Wow. But if this is like you said, it means that the people's voice are no longer important.
The people's vote is
People's votes are no longer important. But wouldn't that also mean that there will be voter apathy? Because when people think that their votes no longer count, are no longer important, they just decide, okay, let's just stay in our houses and not even decide and not even vote.
One, for me, is to be stupidity on my part, going to waste my time staying on the queue, while I know at the end of the day my vote will not count. Understand me? It will be stupidity on my own part. But from what others are saying, just like Natu said that to refuse to vote is not a protest, but a surrender. So when you refuse to vote, you are helping the incumbent to continue in office. When you refuse to vote, you are helping the incumbent to continue in office. So for me, it is a sad day for democracy in Nigeria. It is a sad day for the judicial system.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at Rivers State. You know, Rivers State had this case, and of course, that's even what led to this court ruling. For the governors going to court and all of that. But would you say that? Let's even look at it. Did the state of emergency that was called in Rivers State, did it help in any way? Did it help improve governance, or it even deepen instability? How would you even judge? How would you, if you're asked to judge, how would you judge that those 6 months that we had that state of emergency?
One, democracy suffered in Rivers State. Understand? One, development suffered. Two, then it is a waste of Rivers State resources. That's 3 things. Democracy suffered. Understand? Governance suffered, and the IBAs that came wasted their resources, because within that 6 months, nothing happened in Rivers State. Understand? I have called people in Rivers State when IBAS was there. What is happening? Development was stalled. Even I said that Rivers people should go to Supreme Court to say that they need the 6 months that was denied from them back, because it was illegally denied. But now Supreme Court has confirmed the illegality of the president's action.
Oh, okay. Let's move on to the next conversation that we have. Prominent opposition figures, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President David Mark, and ex-presidential candidate Peter Obi have raised serious concerns that Nigeria's multi-party democracy is under threat. In a joint statement, they alleged that the federal government is weaponizing anti-corruption agencies, such as the EFCC and the Nigeria Police, to intimidate political opponents and pressure them into defecting to the ruling All Progressive Congress ahead of the 2027 election. Opposition critics argued that the trend of high-profile defections appears to be politically motivated and risk undermining the credible contest of ideas and competition that a healthy democracy requires. Now, the presidency has firmly rejected these allegations, calling them baseless and self-serving. A statement from the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Nanuga, says there is no threat to multi-party democracy because defections to the APC are entirely voluntary and protected by the Constitution, which guarantees freedom of association. The presidency also dismissed claims that anti-graft agencies are being misused for political ends. insisting that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and other bodies operate independently and pursue cases based on evidence and law, not political affiliation. Before we come to our guests to analyze the stories, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll get back to our guests.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heart.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching the issues on Voice of the People Television. Okay, let's come to Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter, you know, this coalition, they've come together to accuse the federal government, the president, of course. What do you make of this accusation? Do you think what they're saying is true?
What they are saying is true, but they are not supposed to be saying it. What they are saying about using a EFCC, working hard that to make sure that APC wins 2027, understand the shenanigans. All of them are true, but they are not supposed to be saying it. The reason contesting for a political office is different from running for the president of a Young Men's Christian Association. It is a different ball game. Understand? In politics, you don't look nice. You don't play fair. Understand? You don't play fair. You don't look nice. It's a dirty game, and you must do it that way. All of them there are tested politicians. They have run for different offices and know how it works. Understand? So for me, complaining shows weakness. Complaining shows weakness. But if the question whether they are intimidating people that enter APC, the answer is yes. They are doing that. Understand? They are doing that. Then some people are also afraid of what happened in Edo. Understand? So that it will not happen that to them. Like the governor of a United States, it is fear that is pushing him into APC. Understand? The governor of Delta State, that Sheriff or whatever, it is fear that push him into APC. Understand me? So then, but the truth is that all this madness, highest by 2031, it will come to an end. All these things that they are doing as if Nigeria that Nigeria has become just a Bola Tinubu, it will stop by 2031, and all of them will start looking stupid.
But if you say to stop by 2031, doesn't that look like a long time for Nigeria to be in this state? And what does this portend for us? Because because one of the things that are complaining about is looking as if we are gradually sliding into a one-party party system. Don't you think that would not be good for us? Don't you see that coming? If this gale of defections continue?
No, we cannot have a one-party state because Nigeria is not one. Understand? Nigeria is not one, so we cannot have a one-party state. Ethnicity is
No, sorry, I don't mean a one-party state. What I meant is a one-party system, not a one-party state.
that
Actually,
one-party state is one-party system.
okay.
Understand me? So ethnicity is strong in Nigeria, religion is strong in Nigeria. Understand me? So we cannot have what Tinubu is doing now. Understand me? No other person can do it. Understand? So when Tinubu is out of the picture, understand? People will begin to run a helter skelter. Understand? And saying that it is too long, it's not too long. It's just about 60 months. Understand? 4 years is 48 months. Understand me? So it is not too long. All of us will witness what happened in 2031. Because for me, all these people are simply being stupid. All of them are simply being very, very stupid. Understand? You cannot collapse the whole country because of one man. If or the man want to be for Biya, Museveni, understand? For Kigami, understand? It will be a different ball game. But that cannot happen in Nigeria. Understand? We can never have Paul Biya in Nigeria. We can never have Museveni in Nigeria. We can never have Paul Kigami in Nigeria. So why are you trying to collapse the whole country because of one man? So to me, it is stupidity on their part.
But what makes you think that we can never have all of those sort of persons in the country?
Because Nigeria is a different country.
You think Nigerians are strong enough to resist such a thing?
Nigeria are more than strong enough to resist one party system.
But we've seen that we've seen that there are so many things that Nigerians have endured. If Nigerians are strong enough, I don't think that they would have raised the voice against many things that are bedeviling us as a country.
Those things are not politics. Understand? Those things are not politics. Nigeria is not we are not common people. If we are common people, it will be easy. Understand me? Nothing will make the Northerners to allow Tinubu to be in office a day after 2031. Nothing will make the Northerners to be in office. Northerners will not allow Tinubu to be in office a day after 2031, assuming he wins 2027. Understand me? So it has never worked and it will not work.
Okay, looking at these mass defections, wouldn't you want to cut the ruling party some slack? Wouldn't you want to say that the reason for these defections, wouldn't you want to put the blame more on weakened opposition? Because if the opposition parties were strong enough, people would not be leaving their parties.
Well, and the truth is that anywhere in the world where the government in power is strong, it simply means that the opposition is weak. Understand me? Anywhere in the world where the government in power is strong, it simply means that the opposition is not united. It means that the opposition is weak. If the opposition is strong, if the opposition is united, the government in power would be weak. So that's why I say that these people are not supposed to be complaining. Understand? They're not supposed to be crying like babies. If they unite, if they come together, the government in power will be jittery. Understand? But those that are defecting now have seen that that opposition is not strong enough to save them. Understand? They have seen that the opposition is not strong enough to guarantee their second term. And you know what APC have been saying is that just like 2-3 days ago, they said that Anambra State will be the last state that they will not win. Understand? So those are mind games. Understand? So for me, I blame the opposition for what is happening. I blame them because they are not united. If they are united, APC is not a strong party. Even on good governance, they have not done anything well. But mind you, what is happening now in PDP, we still have that 16 years of PDP dominion. So today we are having 16 years, maybe just today we are having about 10 years of APC dominion. I don't know what will happen by November, that's by 2027. So even if we have another 16 years of APC dominion, it will not go beyond that 16 years.
Why you are so sure that as if you already have a blueprint of how it will be? What makes you think that APC cannot go beyond 16 years?
I know how Nigeria works. PDP was talking of ruling for 60 years.
Okay.
Understand me? PDP was thinking of ruling for 60 years. Today, APC is thinking of ruling forever. Understand me? So this is Nigeria. I'm old enough to know how Nigeria works.
So how does Nigeria politics work that we think will make them not to go beyond 2031? Because you seem so sure that after 2031, that will be the end of APC, then another party comes in.
And that's once, but if Tinubu succeeds in winning 2027, by 2031, understand, APC cannot contain everybody again. Do you understand me?
Like you feel like there will be rifts or in the
APC
party.
Cannot contain everybody who are rushing into it now. Understand? So they'll begin that to look for other ways. So all those people now, let me use Anambra and Enugu as an example. So the governor is now in APC. There are also people in APC that want to contest governorship. Understand? You cannot have 2-3 people from the same party contesting governorship at the same time. They have to look for other parties. Understand me? So that's why it will be difficult that you have one single party in Nigeria.
Okay, I understand that our guest is in now. Our virtual guest is in. Glad to have you join us, Claire Maguire. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening.
Okay, so let me just bring you up to speed to what we've been discussing. So currently we're talking about these opposition parties, not opposition, but yeah, of course, opposition parties. Some of the members of opposition parties, like people like Atiku, Peter Obi, and all of that, they've all come together to say that they've alleged that the federal government is weaponizing anti-corruption agencies such as the EFCC and the Nigerian police to intimidate political opponents and pressure them into defecting to the ruling All Progressive Congress ahead of 2027 election. They've actually said they've raised serious concerns that Nigeria's multi-party democracy is under threat. Do you believe that? Do you align with them that our democracy is under threat?
At the face value, when you look at these things that are happening in Nigeria, you will nothing but agree that democracy in Nigeria is under threat. Under threat in the sense that people are losing trust and confidence in the political system because of the way our politicians have been elected to play politics. If people feel that their votes don't count, then they begin to lose interest in democracy and in the process. Now, back to the issue raised by the opposition individuals, because I wouldn't call them opposition parties, because I have not seen them as a political party yet. These are individuals that are opposed to this very government. So we're having opposition without opponents without opposition, actually, in the central governance of Nigeria as it is today. Yes, they have raised the issue of the ruling party weaponizing anti-corruption. The question you ask yourself, the people that they are targeting, are they actually corrupt? Do they do anything that will warrant them being prosecuted, being harassed, or being investigated? I wouldn't want to be part of the people who say don't investigate somebody because he is in the other party or he is inside the ruling party. I wouldn't want to be part of that kind of drive. But I think the real danger of to democracy is not actually what the APC is doing. Because what APC is doing is what they are doing to see that they win election. The people of Nigeria are frustrated with APC and they want the APC out. But the opposition individuals are not giving the people the leeway. They're not giving the people the opportunity to vent their frustration against APC because of their inability to come together. I'm becoming very much disinterested in the acts of these opposition individuals in the sense that there's no way they can defeat APC in the 2027 election except they come together. Every one of them must not want to be president or have that sense of entitlement that it must be me that must be president. It appears they are not even determined to save Nigeria or rescue Nigeria or give the people alternative to APC. So the real danger is the inability of the opposition to know what time it is, to understand that they need to come together. For PDP to understand that they cannot go it alone. Actually, to understand that they cannot go it alone. For people to understand that you cannot go it alone. For ADC to understand that you cannot go it alone. You don't just form opposition by mouth. There's nothing on the ground to show that there is really an opposition to the rampaging APC. That is my problem with our current state of affairs in Nigeria. Because the opposition or the opponents are not really giving the confidence, they're not putting their right foot forward. If they cannot come together, they don't have no reason to complain. If they want to go it alone, the way they're going it alone like a splinter group, then good luck to them. If Tinubu, APC wins the election and comes back, despite the frustration, hunger, and anger in the land, so be it. That's democracy for you.
Okay, would you say that the APC is benefiting from opposition failures?
Of course, naturally. Any failure of the ruling party is a benefit to the opposition. Any failure of the opposition to organize and get together is a benefit to the ruling party. It's a natural flow of events. They must be beneficiary for the crisis in the opposition parties. But the issue is this: if somebody wants to destroy your house, why will you allow that person to destroy you? Can't you put up a resistance and for the first time show resilience and for the first time show unity among yourself? Except, and I repeat, except the opposition individuals unite as a common coalition, then they cannot be thinking about disrupting APC even the next 20 years. You must have to have that capacity to be united, that ability to surrender your own personal interest and look at the situation, look at the issues, and also have something that you give back. People keep talking about ideology, you don't have ideology. Which of these political parties are even talking on issues that the ruling party is not doing? Can't the opposition parties pick up chapter 3 of our constitution, like which they say non-justiciable, and take it as a manifesto and make that they are going to make those things like free education, quality health, federal character, war against crime, that they're going to make all this injusticiable, that the government must have to provide it and respect it. That's enough ideology for anybody to run with. Why can't they look at that chapter 3 rights? Why must they be, everybody is looking at the chapter 4 rights, which are not absolute, which you cannot even, except section 36, which you can say is absolute. Every other thing in section 4 rights are not absolute. And then section 3, chapter 3 rights, which are supposed to touch me and you, which are the basic things like the right to have clean water, right to have good hospital, right to have equality in economic distribution. This is there in the constitution, but they're not justiciable. Why can't these political parties take it up, like India did, and said, we are going to make it justiciable, and then run with it, and see people will not follow you? So they allow themselves to be infested by crisis. It's not like PDP. Why would you tolerate Wike up to this time? Wike destroyed PDP up to this moment that we are. When there's someone they call it to expel him, can't he see himself as outside? He's already outside, so let him go and join APC. The issue is that these opposition individuals have not understand that there's a difference between being an opponent and opposition. They are just opponents to the present government and not opposition to the present government. For them to be an opposition, they have to come together, unite collectively, and then present an agenda to the people and produce a rallying point that people can follow. It doesn't matter where the person comes from. If the mood of the nation says this president will come from the south, take somebody from the south. If that's the mood of the nation, I unite around that person. If it is somebody from the north that will rescue this country, then take it. But understand that Nigeria is on a tripod. And if it is turn of the south to produce a president, by all means, look for a quality candidate from the south. Unite around that person, irrespective of your religion or ethnicity. And understand that it is Nigeria first that requires rescue. As long as they keep process of entitlement, be happy to do things, is the one that the president without negotiating with other people, and people felt he has the right to be a serial runner of a presidential election, that he cannot be a kingmaker this time, or somebody else feeling this is my turn. If it's not my turn, then let's have it. Then you cannot defeat the incumbent. The incumbent is, no matter how bad he is already 50% ahead in any election. President Tinubu, as I speak to you today, is as bad as his government is 50% ahead. So how do you do a catch-up as a center group, except you leave your individual idiosyncrasies, unite in the collective, and then push to see if you can defeat the ruling party. Because the ruling party is humongous, is a hegemony, it's like a dragon. You need to be united to be able to do anything to scratch the skin of a ruling party. It's not easy to defeat a ruling party, not talk of in Africa. But for you to do that, there must be a resistance, united resistance by the opposition parties. It has not happened.
Okay, talking about united opposition voices, but what are the long-term consequences if opposition voices continue to shrink like we are seeing them shrink these days?
Nobody has closed my mouth from talking. Nobody has talked about the politician in that lane. If I am, I will understand that you really have to read the room very well. The only way they can make an impact in the 2027 election is not by complaining that our voice is shrinking. The more they want to cover your mouth, the more you are shouting. The more they are trying to stop you, the more you are moving. The more they are trying to put you on the ground locally here, the more you're internationalizing the campaign. The focus of the world today is on Nigeria. So what are the opposition parties doing to bring to the fore the problem that is Nigeria by coming together, united? Everyone who understands politics understand that if you want to repeat 2023, the way you went in 2023, you want to repeat it again, you will fail woefully. It's a waste of time. You will fail. It doesn't matter who you bring, so long as you are a splitter group. Kwankwanso is going his own.
Okay, we seem to have lost connection with him. Dr. Peter. Yes, so I need you to just let's quickly have your concluding thought on what you were about to say. I know you wanted to say something. Can you quickly land on your thought? Okay, let's come back to you, Dr. Peter. How might this defection trend, shape voter participation or perception and turnout ahead of 2027?
Well, it is going to lead to voter apathy, because one of the beauties of democracy is choice. Understand? Choice between maybe 2-3 different people or 2-3 different parties. But when you see that there's only one party, understand, and you are not willing to vote for that party, and you stay in your house, you will stay in your house. So it's only those who want to vote for the ruling party that will come out that will vote, because many people don't have such a luxury of time to waste. So And one thing that increases interest in politics is if there's choice. You feel that your vote can make a difference. But what all we are seeing now, if you are not voting for the ruling party, you will think that your vote will not make any difference. Therefore, you will prefer staying in your house. So, and like Aguyi said, it is the opposition that is fending Nigerians. It is the opposition that is not giving Nigeria hope. I have said it the other day. One of the strategies of winning election is to make people angry. The more angry people are, the more they will be willing to change. That to winning, that to demand for a change. But now, these people, nobody is making Nigerians angry. Understand? Nobody is making Nigeria angry. So they will continue remaining docile until the election comes. Unless if these people are able to come together, understand? Putting aside their individual differences and bring up one candidate and support that candidate. If that is not done, Tinubu will still win in 2027.
Okay, before we go, let's quickly get to the third conversation. The former Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, has, of course, hit back at critics, accusing past administrations of misconduct, especially, of course, the Buhari administration. Speaking during a televised interview, Mohammed said former President Buhari's record should not be judged solely on corruption allegations lodged against former ministers, stressing that accountability must be based on fact and due process rather than political rhetoric. On the contentious issue of the NSAS protest and the Lekki tollgate incident, Mohammed reiterated the government's position that there was no massacre at the tollgate. He said, a claim, of course, that remains fiercely debated among activists and, of course, all Nigerians. Would that claim will fiercely be debated? What do you make of this? Buhari's legacy. We are seeing many of his ministers, many of those who had served under him, are currently under either one issue or the other with EFCC. And now Lai Mohammed is saying what he's saying. What do you make of this?
Lai Mohammed was in limbo until the Buhari rehabilitated him. So he should always be grateful to him. Understand? But since 2015, I've been saying that Buhari doesn't have presence.
How do you mean?
That he doesn't know what is going on around him.
Okay.
He has never known what is going on around, even when he was a young man. Understand? He doesn't have that presence. Whatever responsibility that was entrusted to him has been done by other people. As a young man, when he was the head of it was Tunde Idiabo that was running the government. Understand? When Abacha appointed him the chairman of PTF, Petroleum and Trust Fund, understand, which was the biggest ministry at that time, it was a consultancy, a consulting firm that he hired, understand, to do the job. That is why at that time, other 25 billion naira was missing. Buhari couldn't account for it because he doesn't know about the day-to-day activities. Then as a president, the same thing. That was why Aisha, his wife, was shouting that cabals has hijacked his administration because he has never had sense. So, and for his legacy, he is a failure through and through. He failed as a military head of state. He failed as an elected president.
Okay, we would have to draw the curtains at this point. Thank you very much, Dr. Peter. Thank you for your analysis, as always, as intelligent as always. And thank you, Clem Agui, for being a part of us all the way from Anambra State. That's all for today's episode of The Issues. We explored the challenges facing Nigeria's politics and electoral governance. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insight. Until next time, stay informed. I am Nenna Ndomdioto. This has been the Issues on Voice of the People television, where the future faces forward. Please don't forget to stay tuned for hashtag with Vivian and Ikechukwu by 8 p.m. Don't go away.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Voice of the people. You can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokobo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikenna Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka, Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejimo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin, and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, are you looking for good entertainment? You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us, and you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you, and I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked.